Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to this interesting session coming up for you. That's on the evolution of learning through community-based platforms using WhatsApp. And we have amongst us, once again, our very own, please welcome with big round of applause, Mohit Dua. Can we have you here? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in this session, we have amongst us founder and CEO at GrowthSchool, Vaibhav Sisinty. Let's welcome with a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, hi everyone. Thanks for staying back. We have Vaibhav with us. He's the founder and CEO of GrowthSchool. So I don't think he needs any introduction. Everyone who's active on Instagram and LinkedIn, everyone knows who's Vaibhav Sisinty, right? Once every 2 days, you might be seeing his ads and everything, correct? So I would love, Vaibhav, you to introduce yourself once, like what exactly you're doing, what exactly you're building, what new is coming in GrowthSchool, and then we can proceed with the discussion of topics.
Awesome. I hope I'm audible. Yes, I am. Before we get started, I would like to ask a question. Looks like there's a lot of people in here. How many of you guys have experienced anything at GrowthSchool, like a workshop, program? Wow, that I can say 20% of the house?
Yeah, more than that.
Awesome, thank you. So guys, for everyone else, my name is Vaibhav. I'm the founder of GrowthSchool. What we do at GrowthSchool is we give you guys the opportunity to become the top 1%. That's what we aspire to do in the AI first world. And the way we do it is by getting people to teach you, and all those teachers who teach you are essentially the ones who have been there and done that. So for job seekers, that becomes more like people who you want to become. And for founders and everyone else, it almost becomes like, hey, can I learn from someone who has worked in a company, who has already accomplished that for that company, so I can learn, adopt in my startup, and get the outcomes. So that is, on a high level, what we do inside of GrowthSchool. And in terms of numbers, we have done 3.5 million learners in 30 different countries in the last 2.5 years.
Amazing, amazing. So, Vaibhav, you were one of those few brands who, before GrowthSchool, when you were doing solo LinkedIn workshops, you were one of those folks who actually leveraged WhatsApp communities a lot, right? I personally took your LinkedIn course, and I also got joined into a community on WhatsApp, right? So, it's been I guess, 2-3 years now, and are you still following the communities on WhatsApp? If yes, then why on WhatsApp? Why not Slack or Discord? All those new softwares came in when COVID is happening, right? And how scalable it is, or if it's not, how exactly you have managed to make it scalable? What kind of benefits are you driving it from now? Can you give some insights on that?
So, एक चीज़ जो हमेशा होता है ना, so when I was running initially during pandemic, I started with something called as a LinkedIn workshop, and तब funding नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था, so we were completely bootstrapped. So तब we used a stack that was free of cost, right? So that is when we started WhatsApp, and every time when someone used to register, we used to add them to a WhatsApp group. लेकिन जब फंडिंग आ गया, हमने सोचा यार फंडिंग आने के बाद भी थोड़ी ना फ्री टूल यूज़ करेंगे, अभी फैंसी टूल्स यूज़ करेंगे, right? So we went to Slack, we went to Discord, we've built our own community platform, we did everything, right? For the product team said, no WhatsApp, Vaibhav, data नहीं मिलता है, ये नहीं होता है, वो नहीं होता है, and we heard, listened, went for the full circle, and eventually landed back on WhatsApp. Because nothing works better than a WhatsApp, like Mukul was talking about, right? The DAUs and MAUs का जो ratio रहता है, उसको sticky ratio बोलते हैं. The stickiness ratio is the highest across the world when it comes to WhatsApp. So आप कितना भी product में innovation कर लो, कितना भी product में invest कर लो, even if you build the best freaking community platform out there, there is one thing that will miss out on, and that is engagement on the platform. Without a reason, is there a platform that a user opens on a daily level? You have to be there. And that is WhatsApp, and that is why we fundamentally operate on WhatsApp. I think it's fair to assume that out of 3.5 million people that we have done, it will be close to 4 million. Easily based on the ratios that I remember, good 2 million people will be in one of the WhatsApp groups that we have created even today. So I probably think after all the gurus and spiritual leaders, we probably will have the highest number of WhatsApp groups in the country, if not the world, right? So GrowthSchool runs on WhatsApp, though we have Slack, but all our programs, everything runs on WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp for business, for direct communication. In fact, internationally also when we opened up, because we didn't know better, we started to use WhatsApp, and we are getting the learn in US and all the penetration is not so deep yet, right? But हम वहाँ भी बोलते हैं यार WhatsApp आ जाओ. And what we have realized is once they come in and start using it, they kind of are sticky on the platform rather than driving them to a Slack or anything else around it. So yeah, we run on WhatsApp. But obviously, right, we will probably have 20 to 30,000 WhatsApp groups inside of
that's
GrowthSchool.
quite large.
And hota kya hai, because of the sheer volume, there is no community management tools that have been built. Abhi though it has got much better. Before this, it was treated as a, family groups and all that, because of which the sheer volume is very big and management is a mess. But based on what I understand, there's a lot of new products coming up which will help us manage this better. So I hope we continue to leverage this.
Yeah, for sure. Also, for all of the guys out here, can you also take us through your journey once? Like you mentioned, you started with the LinkedIn workshop. What made you realize, what was the inflection point when you realized like, hey, now this I can go full blown and I can basically build more courses like that? Plus, like you just mentioned, like you are expanding internationally also. Can you touch base on that as well?
Yeah, sure. I don't think we have got to an inflection point yet, because I think AI hit its inflection point with ChatGPT and you saw how world changed, right? I don't think inflection has been hit with the business so far. But I think, yeah, the learning was very simple. I was working for this company called as Klook, which was in the travel tech space. Pandemic chal raha tha. Because travel tech tha, to dhanda band ho gaya tha, and they were like, yaar, job gaya tera, right? And at that point of time, I was stuck in Bombay with my dog, and I was like, yaar, kya karoon? What do I do? I started doing some live streams. I started doing group calls with friends who I've not spoken with for 5 years in the past. I did everything. Sab kuch khatam ho gaya ek week mein, right? And then a friend of mine said, yaar, kuch kar. You are good with LinkedIn. I had some 50,000 followers then. Teach LinkedIn. You like talking as well. So I started teaching this LinkedIn workshop. I turned on the ad. I'm a marketer, so everything that I do is ads first. So I turned on the ad in the night, hoping that in a week's time we'll get 50 people to register and we'll figure out. I woke up with 150 registrations, right? And from there, over the course of like 3 months, we had, next 6 months, I think we have 20-30,000 people. And I was surprised. मैं सोचा यार इंडिया में एक Zoom call के लिए, तब Zoom call भी नहीं था, मैं Facebook में live करता था, right? For that, people are paying 500 rupees. It's insane. I never imagined Indians would pay for a Zoom call, that too, right? And I started to talk to a lot of people who were coming in the workshop, because मैं तब बहुत ज़्यादा involved रहता था. So I used to sit over a weekend and spend like 6 hours just talking to thousands of people on a Zoom, right? And every time I asked this question, why did you choose us? What is the expectation? The few things that came out very clear, they were like, yaar, we want to learn from someone who we want to become. And I was like, that made a lot of sense, right? We don't want to learn from someone who's not doing what he's teaching. Abhi agar college professors ke paas jayenge na, if how many of you are not from a IIT or any fancy college like that? Not, right? I'm sure everyone would relate. हमारे colleges के professors ये होते हैं जो वही college में पढ़े, job नहीं मिला और college के professor बन गए. Agreed?
Even I had some.
That was my college.
Yeah.
That was my college. And guess what? My college was not bad. It was decent, right? IIT नहीं था, लेकिन exam लिखना पड़ा था मुझे भी वो college में घुसने के लिए, right? And I was like, boss, this is so true. And can I do this more? And वही audience में जब बात, it's all about staying close to your consumer, right? So I kept talking, I kept spending a lot of time, and people really liked the model, right? तभी भी online courses जो होते थे, recorded courses होते थे, और you just give out the course and it's done from there. That was the insight where can we get really interesting people who are doing the job that people want to do tomorrow and get them to teach exactly what they're doing in the job rather than following bookish stuff. And that is the insight that we started GrowthSchool with. Uske baad, I started a few more programs with few friends. One UX program started, one performance program started. Luckily, they still run till today. And over the course of next, I think, 12 months, we scaled to almost 5 crores in revenue, profitable,
nice,
insane stories, whatnot. And that's when we said, okay, let's take the bait and make it big. And we have grown. 15x from there, probably hit, close to 100 crores in revenue.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Uh, like, I believe, like, how many of you guys have seen Vaibhav's ad? Raise of hands.
GrowthSchool ads.
GrowthSchool ads.
Come on, guys.
GrowthSchool's ad featuring Vaibhav for LinkedIn workshop, right?
That is one workshop that I still teach because I
Yeah.
want to close.
So you must have noticed, like, earlier it was just LinkedIn workshop. Now it is LinkedIn meets AI workshop that you're building, right? So what's with this AI? Like, how exactly you are leveraging AI internally, and to the students that you're basically teaching, how exactly AI is playing a role in that?
Yeah, I think not just with LinkedIn, right? Like we were the first set of, see, at GrowthSchool, right, we have always been about how do we become the first brand. Our GTM in this expensive internet world has been, how do we become the first set of people to teach something new to people? Because we believe our learners who come, the audience that comes to GrowthSchool are the weird ones, right? हम बोलते हैं कि यार जॉब नहीं दिलाएंगे तुमको, आना है तो आओ, फिर भी आते हैं. हम बोलते हैं कोई फैंसी सर्टिफिकेट या डिग्री नहीं मिलेगा, आना है तो आओ, फिर भी आते हैं. हम बोलते हैं आपको बहुत बहुत परिश्रम करना पड़ेगा, यू हैव टू स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम, ईमेल्स में गाली भी पड़ेगा अगर क्लास अटेंड नहीं करोगे, आना है तो आओ, फिर भी लोग आते हैं. सो these are not like random set of people, right? These are really aspirational people, and these audiences always expect more. So staying close to the audience, we have always been that company who always launches emerging tech the first. So we were one of the first set of people to teach Web3 to like almost 1 lakh people when the boom was happening, and we thought that could be big. We don't know if it is right or wrong, right? We were the first set of people, if not in the country, also in a way first few people in the world to teach no code. We have taught almost 250,000 people in the country how to use no code, right? Same came with AI. When early days of AI happened, when ChatGPT launched, and when I used it for the first time, I was like, boss, this is it. This changes everything. And in 3 months from there, we worked tirelessly to redo all our programs to infuse artificial intelligence into it, because वो देख के ये समझ में आ गया कि यार जैसे जो हम जॉब करते हैं आज वो बहुत अलग होने वाला है. And as of today, when I sit here, right, and I don't say this to scare people, and I truly believe this, jobs as of today to 3 years from now are going to look extremely different. They are not going to be anywhere close to what we do today, right? And as all the founders and all the business owners out there, it is very important for us to understand where is the world heading towards. So that we never should be building products for solving problems just of today. The best of products are built when you solve a problem which stays for long, and ideally you solve for a problem which you anticipate to come going forward. And it's going to grow bigger and bigger. So you need to leverage technology in the right way. If you ask me what the world is going to look like, it's a scary thing that we're going to live in. But there's going to be major rise of agentic workforce. Abhi hum log, see, how many of you guys have used ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, any of those things? Okay. Second question, how many of you guys played with OpenAI's Playground? Okay, great. How many of you have created automations with something like Make or Zapier? Pabbly, perfect. How many of you have used something called as N8N or Relevance or Artifacts? You look at the size of audiences that is changing.
Yeah.
The third thing that I told about is something called as how to build agents, right? So far, everything that is accessible to us as consumers has always been, I ask a question, I get an output. That is an assistant. Agentic workflows is where you give a task and the agent accomplishes that task for you. You want to talk to 100 of these inbound leads that came for your business. AI will talk to them, have a conversation with them just like your SDRs are doing, get you an outcome and come back to you, and will only bother you if it is stuck with something which you cannot solve for. Mm-hmm. So essentially the world where we are heading, right? I feel there are going to be managers, and managers are going to be managing AI agents, not humans. Mostly AI agents. And as I think about it, I think there's going to be a major rise in something I call as AI generalists. What are these generalists? Whenever there's a problem, you go out there and solve that problem end to end without any support of product, tech, anything. You do it all by yourself and build agents which will help you solve that problem. I was looking at this podcast, okay, of Salesforce, where the founder of NVIDIA and the founder of Salesforce were talking. And there's this very interesting thing Jensen said, right? He was like, if any of you guys are using any of the apps, like a SaaS product or any product to do your job, this is the first layer of roles that will vanish because AI can use a tool 10 times better than a human.
Yeah.
Right? That is the first layer of thing happening. And when you go back and think about the jobs that we do, hey, 70% of the jobs revolves around tools today. Right?
Correct.
A marketer is majorly spending time on an AiSensy to send messages.
Correct.
Right? A product guy is spending a lot of time writing PRDs, understanding what that is. A tech person is spending a lot of time writing software on a VS Code or something. And you see alternatives and layers of all these products coming on the top. A cursor is coming, sitting on top of VS Code, and you're able to ship a full product. Right? Notion has the capabilities of AI right now.
Yeah.
AI automation is on the rise. So it's a crazy world we are living in. So it is very important for us to upskill and level up in this space as founders, as operators, as leaders, so that we are ahead of the curve, because this adoption is going to happen across. It is important that you are ahead of others for you to win the game, right? And we realized this very, very long, and we're adopting. And if you see, 100% of our programs are all very, very highly integrated with generative AI. And on top of that, we actually changed our tagline from, hey, at GrowthSchool, you become the top, learn how to become the top 1%, to we have changed that to become top 1% in the AI first world. Because the world is becoming AI first. So that is where all these new directions and new angles are coming. It's exciting, and it's also very scary.
Yeah.
But that is the reality.
Correct. Vaibhav, I was actually reading a news yesterday. Like, Kota used to be the education hub for India, right?
Sorry, come again?
Kota used to be the education hub of India, right? We have seen, like, in this year, 30% drop happened in the admissions in Kota as compared to last year, right? Since you have already been in this industry, right? You love teaching people. Where do you see this future of education going like? How exactly it is shifting its paradigm?
Yeah, I think, when it comes to schooling, when it comes to, I think a basic set of education would always have to exist no matter where technology gets to. It's just that the learning curves are going to come in much earlier. For example, what is the usual format of someone to become an engineer today, right? You do your 12th in sciences, then you study hard, you get into an engineering college. That's why people go to Kota to get into an IIT or worst case NIT, or you get into any of the engineering colleges. Irrespective of whatever you study, mechanical ho, civil ho, jo bhi ho, eventually you will become a software engineer.
Correct.
Right? That is the reality of life. Now, in the 4 years of engineering, आप क्या पढ़ रहे थे? You were learning C. Initially, you were learning chemistry, physics, biology for no apparent reason why, right? You had maths. I was made to do some, I had labs in the civil building as well. I had labs in electronics building as well, right? I was doing stuff which was not useful. And 99% of the people who come out of college, whatever they learn in the college is not relevant in the job world.
Yeah.
This realization is happening more and more across the board. That is why you see a rise of new age schools coming in. Like Mukul just started Polaris, right? And I met the bunch of kids there. First year college engineering students, I asked how many of you want to get into Google. Very few hands went up. And then I said, how many of you guys want to start up? 70% of the hands went up. How many of you have coded ever in your life before? 30% of the hands went up. First year of engineering में घंटा नहीं पता था हमको coding क्या होता था, right? So the world is changing as it is. People don't care about certificates and degrees as much as they did before. They also are realizing कि यार it's all about learning and doing in the right way. So all these, when something that was taking you 4 years of most of the times doing nothing, playing Call of Duty and chilling with friends and whatnot, all of that education can be packaged in 1 year, and you spend the next 2-3 years doing things. Right? The rise of practical education is coming in purely because of rise of awareness that's happening all over, right? And with AI coming in, I will not be surprised. Funnily enough, I'll tell you one incident, okay? So Growth School now has 2-3 brands under it. There is Growth School, and then there's Cairo School of Business, which is a online MBA kind of an alternative. And we recently started something called as Build School, where we teach people how to build, because we believe future of everybody else is solopreneurship, entrepreneurship is solopreneurship, and you need to teach people how to build. So we were teaching people how to build products using AI without code. For that, we had like a demo day. And in a demo day, a room like this was packed for people to just see what people were building. Towards the end, we were chilling, and there was a guy who came in. He said, I run a school in Mysore which has 1,250 kids. Whatever these people did on the stage, I'm sure my 8, 9, 10 standard kids can do it. Can you guys come and teach my 8, 9, 10 standard kids on how to build products, AI products like you guys did right now? And I'm sure my kids will understand. We had an introductory call to understand. And dude, 10 standard kids are excited to build. They understand what product is. You ask them a question saying, hey, what are the 3 features you would need on WhatsApp? They're able to give you a product-led thing. They are able to think as product-first thinkers and are able to answer. So everything that we were learning when we were 22, 23 is happening when they're 13 and 14. My nephews are coding when they are 10-year-old, right, using Python. So the world is evolving. I think the arbitrage of a certificate and degree is already gone. While a few people might like to believe that it is still there, it is no more there. It is all about what you can do with what you learned rather than just learning, right? And a piece of paper doesn't have any value anymore. So that is where the world is heading.
Pretty interesting. Got it. Let's suppose if you have to build an EdTech business in 2024, right? Most of the EdTech business started in COVID, right? Let's suppose there is a founder who wants to build an EdTech business today. What would you suggest them? What should be their GTM? How should they get started? With all, from an investor's point of view also, like the year around the tech startup, what would be your suggestions, or what would be your 3 basic things to make sure, like, yeah, they build a successful business?
Yeah, education is that one interesting space where there is, the cost of starting is very low, right? Even when we started Growth School, I didn't go out to raise capital, right? We built a business, got some traction, and then went on to raise capital. And that formula works absolutely fine even today. Obviously, the market is not as exciting as it was before, because every investor wants to only invest in a company which has .ai in the end, right? But that is the sense of today. But on day 0, if you're building something, not just in EdTech, but anything around content or anything around it, you have to realize that this is a business that can be profitable from day 1, right? So, and the only thing that you guys will have to focus on doing the right thing by the learner, by the consumer, because this is that space which is driven not just by performance, but by actually referrals, right? 40% of our product sales happens today via repeat or referrals today. Without that, Growth School cannot exist. No business can exist, right? So start with the intent of doing the right thing. Don't do EdTech because it's easy to do, because that's the only thing you think you can do. Do it if your heart is at the right place and you think this is what you want to dedicate your next 10 years for, right? 2 is, on day 0, think about how you can break even, if not make insane amount of profits. 3 is focus on giving the learners the outcomes that they want to. The moment you do that, your flywheel kicks in. And the best time to raise capital is when you don't need to raise capital, right? And that is the only time you will be able to raise capital as well. देखो यार, जिसको लोन चाहिए ना, उसको लोन मिलता नहीं है देश में. जिसको लोन नहीं चाहिए, उसको दिन में 10 कॉल आता है, लोन ले लो. The same is with raising capital. People, if you go out saying that, hey, I can't build this business without raising or without money, there is no freaking way you're going to raise capital. But if you go, or if someone reaches you out saying that, hey, looks like you're doing pretty well, do you want some capital? You're like, you know what? I don't think I need it, but I'm happy to give my time. The odds of you raising capital is way more in that situation. So be in that situation. Unlike a lot of businesses, this doesn't need upfront. So you're in a good space. And one very interesting thing that I've told this to multiple people is, if you really are serious about building something in content and education, I don't think there's a better time than today. Because, 2021, 2022, हमेशा फटा पड़ा था हमारा कि यार ऐसे कौन कॉम्पिटिटर आ जाएगा जो 20 मिलियन 30 मिलियन रेस कर लेगा and they will just buy us out in terms of not buy the company out, buy all our teachers out, give out insane discounts and kill our business. That is not going to happen for the next 2-3 years is what I feel. So you have the liberty of time to build and build the right way.
Great. One last question, then we'll basically open up for the audience. You have been leveraging WhatsApp throughout, right? Right from communities. Then with the AiSensy, we did a course together as well, WhatsApp Marketing Masterclass, right? How has been experience overall working with WhatsApp, this ecosystem?
Yeah, like I already said, GrowthSchool runs on WhatsApp. Both WhatsApp and emails are our biggest channels, both in India and in the US and in Australia and in Middle East as well, right? And we've been obviously using CRM-led WhatsApp quite a lot, right? I was just talking to Gautam the other day saying that, यार, WhatsApp की बिल बहुत बड़ा हो रहा है अभी कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या डिस्काउंट मिलेगा क्या right? So we spend outrageous amount of money on reaching out to people because I think it is one of the highest ROI channels today. And that's where we use you guys as well in our CRM. We have deep integrations into WhatsApp for business. It's one of our biggest cost line item, but also I would like to believe that it's one of the most profitable investments inside as well. So I think it's a no-brainer. All of these people are in this meeting room, in this auditorium probably because they realize the power of WhatsApp. So I don't think I can stress enough.
Great. Any questions, guys? Okay. Yeah. We'll take 2 questions.
Okay, can I start?
Yeah, for sure.
My name is Indradhar. I am in business since the last 30 years and using a lot of technology. But now with AI coming in and new generation coming in, now there is a challenge. How to retain the new generation because we have been using the coding like जैसे formal पहले होता था, ERPs सब कुछ था. And now the AI coding is so fast and the young generation is coming in. What is your suggestion how the people like us who are established and who are giving lot of, you can say, good thing to the world, like we are doing our best to do whatever we can. I'm an entrepreneur coach also, so I'm teaching also, I'm doing business also. But I'm finding it very difficult to find young people and then to retain them. So what's your suggestion?
Ma'am, I'm not in the business for as many years as you did. I've been around for maybe like 10 years now, max, right? But let me tell you, the gap that you feel, I also feel. The 21-year-old, 22-year-old out of college are very different to what was the case 5 years back. So forget about 25 years back, right? I think these are new breed of people, and as they are evolving, as the world is evolving, they want to do things that is exciting for them. They want to do things that is challenging them. And इससे पहले मैं बहुत लोगों को मेरे टीम को यही बोलता हूँ यार 2 साल तो दो भाई. You're giving it 3 weeks and you're like, Vaibhav, I've understood everything. Now I want to move on to the next project. तो कौन करेगा project? तेरे को तो समझ में आ गया. Project कौन करेगा? Right? I think it's all about, how do I put it? Keeping them on the toes and giving them enough challenges. So what I've done as a playbook inside of GrowthSchool, which has worked so far decently, is that I basically say, let's treat this job as 2 different things. मुझे पता है, तुमको पता है, तुम टिकने वाले नहीं हो इधर. Right? Because most of the people aspire to build something, right? They want to do something better and bigger. So what I say is, my advice that I give to them is, listen, you should treat this job as a vehicle to experiment at someone else's cost. तुम experiment करना है तुमको, team available है, spends available है, product available है, तुम्हारे दिमाग में जो भी ideas आता है, तुमको मैं execute करने दूंगा. तुम करो, सीखो, गलतियां करो, so that when you go out to build something else, you're a better person than you are today, right? And spend your good 30-40% of the time doing these things. The rest 60% of the time, you do what I want you to do. That is the deal.
That we are already trying, and I think fairly we are successful in that, but we are not fully satisfied because when they do something and they leave that halfway, that then other person doesn't want to complete that. They feel, ये तो मुझे हमें नहीं पता सर, हमें नहीं मालूम क्या किया था पहले वाले ने. So that is a challenge, and
See,
maybe the time will fill that gap.
There are few other things that we do internally as well, just for the macro of tech, right? We celebrate every release, right? Every time there's a release, people wait to finish their product and announce that we release this, and the whole team rallies to congratulate them. That really helps as well, because once you start, they know that I have to end or else you don't start, because I will not get the aha moment of it anymore. So that also helps. And something else that also helps I don't know if that happens everywhere else, is, these guys, everyone, right, is looking for a community. One reason why people stay is also not just for the company that they work for, but their managers, which is very important, and also to the people that they're around. If you're able to build a rapport where they are deeply involved with 10 more people in the company, दो चीजें होंगी. एक दो लोग नहीं जाएंगे तो 10 लोग मिलके जाएंगे. Right? So that is the thing that you have. But as you are able to create that camaraderie between people, it also really helps. But with that being said, if somebody has to go, they have to go, and I think we'll have to figure out ways to blend things. Initially, I used to get very paranoid, saying things will go loose if this person leaves or if that person leaves. Over the course of last 2.5 years, I've realized nothing happens. Sab chalta hai. Because this is not a new problem. Goes on, you will find a new winner to come and solve that problem for you.
Just one more question, guys. Can we have the mic? Where's the mic? There.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Vaibhav, for your inputs. Now, the thing is, I'm a career counselor. In the name of Career Beacon, I run a magazine also. So, the problem is, the students, they come, मुझे सिर्फ BSc cardiovascular technology में करना है. I am doing BTech in AI, लेकिन मुझे कोई internship नहीं मिल रहा है. How can we recommend them to GrowthSchool, and how is that you guys are going to empower them in terms of that they learn the latest technology for their job things?
So, good question. Here's the catch, right? GrowthSchool usually caters to people with 2 to 3 years of experience. We don't have a lot of 0 to 1 programs inside of GrowthSchool, right? We have not got to that space yet. Usually the reason why 30% of this audience know about GrowthSchool is because you guys are in a way right TG, right? If I go to a college and I say how many of you guys know, not many know. That is the first answer in terms of just pure business. 2 is, in terms of internships, this could be a point that could help the other person who just asked me this question as well. The best hires that we have made inside of GrowthSchool were people who joined us as interns, and we always only take people who come in for 6 months internships minimum. They come, they spend time, they learn the way around, they go through the hustle, and eventually if they stick around by end of 6 months, because it's not easy, they end up becoming real jewels. And that really helps us to build. So we are always open to really, really smart interns. And the portal is open. Anyone can apply.
All right. So you are looking for only tech people or cybersecurity? Okay.
Across.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Vaibhav will be outside for networking, right? We have another sessions lined up. So thanks a lot, Vaibhav, for coming. Really nice speaking to you. Great insights, great session. I hope the audience had loved the session and the energy. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me. Thanks guys.